welcome everybody to Go Toku Reviews episode 3. I am your host, Ramses, and to the left of me is Eric. What's up, Eric?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We actually have I don't know what you call this week, but it's like, some shows were great, some shows I have some complaints, but other than that, this was a pretty, yet again, another solid week of tokusatsu ahead of us. So I guess we shouldn't waste that much time. I guess we should just go on to our first show, shall we?
Yep, and what that is Power Rangers Megaforce.
Okay, so Megaforce. It opens up with the two girls. They're basically Bryce. I made up a new word. They're riding bicycles across the forest. And then we cut to them, like, they find a flower, and they're like, I found this rare flower, and they start taking pictures of it, and yeah, and it was like, yeah, that's fine that's fine and dandy that they found this. So after that, they get a distress signal from Gosai telling them there's a monster attack. So Emma and Gia go out and they meet up with Troy and Jake and Noah, and they start fighting against the monsters. Apparently, one of the monsters is like, I'm just here to test your strength, and they're not really fighting him. So basically they deduce this, like, basically that their strength is by their numbers. If the more united they are, the more powerful they are. So they send in a new, like, henchman monster to take care of that, but she can control everything. And the first thing she does is that she puts something in Emma and Gia so they can be, like, separated. So basically, they're really jealous of each other at one point. And then after that, since they're not cooperating together, both of them are failing at their mission. And this leaves Troy, Jake, and Noah to pretty much be at the mercy of this new villain. So they all get captured, all the boys, and then they pretty much are like, Emma and Gia are trying to. They pretty much, like, they realize, well, we gotta stop this shit fast. So they go out and they go to find the monster. They find the monster, and they since they're both still kind of like in this, like, since they're both kind of still under the spell, both of them are pretty much like they're pretty much like they get their asses handed back to them pretty quick. Until
go on. Go ahead.
No.
Well, the thing. The thing about it is, I mean, at the beginning of the episode, they kind of get put under that spell where they get, put up against each other. And the fact of it is throughout the entire episode, it's basically just talking about how they're supposed to be best friends, and how they're turning on each other that quick. The acting of it is it's really, really bad. But I mean, we've talked about this before. You can't really expect great acting from Power Rangers. But the thing about it is, I mean, the girls, it's not as bad as it is with the male actors. I mean, that's just coming from me as it stands. But for the most part, it was still just pretty god awful to watch. But it was still a pretty solid episode. They took a lot of stuff. I mean, I really didn't watch too much of Ghost Ager. I think, was there an episode about this with I can't remember her name, Ari, and I can't remember the other one. Rami, come on, help me. You watched Ghost Ager, I didn't.
No, I didn't. That's like, you're pretty much talking gibberish to me at one point. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, if they had any conflicts like that in Ghost Ager, I don't think so. No, not that I know of. I mean, it would have been more like, it actually would have made a better show if they did. But that's just me, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you are correct on that regards. So basically, I'm just gonna finish it off here really quick, saying that, like, they break the spell because I think who was it? They
realize that they're good friends with each other, and that that they're under the spell. That's pretty much how they kind of come to terms with it, and then they're just like, oh crap, we're under a spell. Let's break free.
Yeah, they break free, yada yada yada. They destroy the monster. Everyone's happy. and then the Ewoks start dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, let me start off by saying like my thoughts really quick. My thoughts are that you're right on this regards. Like it seemed like there's a little bit more to the characters this time around than they were the last episode, where I felt like I said before, and I said this to Stan. My God, he's like Troy and everybody else. Sometimes it feels like a plank of wood, but here, since like they were under the spell, like they're able to emote a little bit more, and like, you can see a little bit more emotion from the characters a lot of times. And Emma and Gia, I don't really think of them as really good actors or actresses. I mean, and they showed some chops this week. I mean,
they're not as bad as the guys are. The guys are pretty bad. Troy is just a freaking robot in Abercrombie and Fitch clothing. And it's like, oh god, it's really hard to watch. At least in coming from me, I mean, when I'm watching the episode, I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, pretty much.
Another thing about it too is, I mean, the girls I get, it could probably just be my attraction towards Emma, but I honestly think they're a little bit better off than the guys themselves. But that's just me. Beyond that, there's not really much else I can say. It was a kind of a solid episode, but then it pretty much ends when they go and they're like, oh yeah, we were under that spell, and then I think her name's Gia, the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh, I like it when guys are silent or something like that. And then the Black Ranger, I can't remember his name, he goes and he just puts his hand over his mouth and he's just like, yeah, he's like zip tight, because I guess they're kind of doing some sort of attraction between them, which is kind of cool, because I don't think they've really done that recently as far as Ranger shows are concerned. I think the last time there was some sort of an attraction was, I think, maybe Time Force.
Yeah, that was the last time. Then they pretty much played it safe after that.
Yeah, because it just kind of... Because I think that's when Disney took it over.
Yeah, now they're taking...
Actually, no. Disney took it over, I think, with Ninja Storm. And no. In Ninja Storm, there kind of was something. There was, I think it was Hunter, the Navy Thunder Ranger, and then what was her name? The Blue Ranger.
I'm drawing blanks because it's been so long. The thing is, I kind of liked Ninja Force. Like, I'm not like I'm gonna viciously
Ninja Storm.
Ninja Force is like that's another movie that's another thing altogether.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Emma. I want to say.
No, like, Emma's the yellow. Emma's the Pink Ranger from this series. Let me look it up. Let me just go and pull it up right now. My Power Rangers is Tori. Tori is the Blue Ranger. Tori Hansen, and it's actually Blake. Blake is the Navy Thunder Ranger. Hunter was the Crimson Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was kind of, I think, the last time maybe. I could be wrong, but I honestly I'm just a little bit like so as far as my Power Ranger history goes. I mean, I've watched every series, but I just don't really recall it as much as it's not like they were that super memorable or anything. But with that said, I mean, it was kind of it's kind of cool that they're doing something like that. I mean, honestly, it's true that they are kind of catering towards some of the older fans as well as just kids. So I guess they are trying to do a bit more, but for the most part, it's still pretty good. It was a solid episode, sans the horrible acting, but I mean, we can't really expect too much.
There's one thing I want to bring up. The one last thing I want to bring up. The last thing is, like, unlike other episodes where they hit you with the moral, like, right across the face with a hammer, here it seems like they do, but it's a little bit more subtle in a way. I don't like other times that, like, they really hit you over the head with that moral. It's like, really? Come on, really? Can you at least like slip it in a little bit more obviously, like with like flashing lights and like a dance chorus? Here, it was at least a little reserved the way that they were trying to get the moral across. Because usually at one point, like they literally like tell you what the moral is, and I was like, stop that. I'm like, you gotta give your audience at least a little bit of credit. They can put two and two together, and it's just like here, it's like at least they did at least give a little bit, but it still hit you across the head kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah. So, I mean, beyond that, it was still pretty. It was a decent episode.
Yeah, it was okay.
Any other thoughts on it?
No, that's about it. Really, I got nothing because like I said, I watched it. And like it wasn't offensive. If it's offensive like the last episode where it was just like everybody was just like was like off and like I just wanted to like let it end, then yeah, I have some complaints. But here it seems like it's a step up, but I think it's like baby steps. So I was like little by little, we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go on to our next show then?
Yep.
All right then. So we are now going on to Kyoryuger.
So the episode starts off. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the episode started off in the restaurant.
Yeah, it starts off in the restaurant. Nobu and his family are eating, and he comes and he asks Ami about it, about the new menu item. And King shows up, and he's apparently filling in as the cook of the restaurant. And so, who walks in? Soji. I thought his name was Soji.
Oh, well, yeah, Soji, yeah. Yeah,
Soji, the Kyoryuger, he shows up, and they're like, okay, well, you just showed up. What do you want your usual? Which he's just like, yeah. He's like, fine, whatever. And then also the Black Ranger Ian, he's chilling in the back with some girl on his arm, and he's just like, oh yeah. He's like, this is my bitch. This is my bitch right here. And
I love that. He was like, oh yeah.
Look at them.
I don't know any of these people, wink, wink, but I fucking love my life right now. I got a woman on my arm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's enjoying the life, basically. So there's that, and what ends up happening is there's a bit of a commotion outside, from my understanding. Yeah. And so they all bolt into action.
Well, actually, no. First, what ends up happening is Soji's dad comes in, and Soji's like, "No, you will come back with me, and you are gonna continue training. God damn it!" And it's like, I haven't given his food yet. Here's the money for it. Now let's go. By the way, he is actually played by veteran Sentai actor Juichi Hirata, who played Gogo Black and Dyna Black from Gogo 5 and Dynaman.
Yeah, he did look a little bit familiar.
So yeah, he plays his strict dad, and he takes Shoji away. Then there's a commotion starts.
Yeah. So, within this time, they're getting into a fight and everything like that, and Sochi's dad is just fighting, and he's getting down with just that Boken. He's just beating ass and taking names, he's about to get captured by this. Yeah, he's about to get captured by that bird cage type thing, and so he ends up just doing his Hisatsu attack and just bam, just knocks it down. So during this meantime, Soji escapes and he goes to Henshin, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the dance is kind of a little annoying to me. I'm just kind of hoping, like, it just seems a bit too what's the word I'm looking for?
Too elaborate.
It seems a little too elaborate and too involved for them to be doing something like that. Yeah, like, I kind of hope later on that they kind of just, kind of forego it, and they just, work amongst themselves, and they just like, okay, Hidden change, and then they just do or Brave In, and then they just Henshin. But
yeah, but I'm pretty sure that will happen like as this time goes on. I'm pretty sure this is just for show, because like, hey, we need to push these toys somehow.
Yeah. And then within that time, you learn that there's a lot of internal turmoil between Soji and his dad, and then he ends up, basically coming forth and just, they go back to their little like sky sanctuary type place, and
then Daigo's like, look, you're gonna tell me what's up, because if I beat you in this fight, you will tell me what's going on. And Soji's like, yeah, fine. And he beats him.
And he's like, but if I win,
shooting him.
Like,
and
everyone's
like, what the fuck are you doing, Daigo?
He's like, I didn't specify, so it is kind of my fault. And then even at that point, he basically powers down, and he shows them all it's me, Soji, and then they're just like, oh wow, we didn't expect it to be you. Which, I mean, is everyone in this universe colorblind?
Well, not
the guy that's always
colorblind,
wearing.
Well, true. Well, I mean, here's the thing: if I was wearing the same red shirt every day, I mean, would you peg me as a Red Ranger?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, you know what? All right. Stupid question. Anyways, keep going.
So, yeah, more or less, you kind of find out, exactly how this is, and
yeah, he and his father they had this conflict because apparently the conflict stems from the fact that his father trained Soji so hard that it drove a wedge between their family, and then it's like he's like he says why is he fighting like a wild beast? He should fight with honor, but we had to stop and realize he is kind of a wild beast, quote unquote, because he has like a wild beast with him.
Yeah.
So so basically after that they understand what's happening. The monster reappears, right?
Yeah. So at this point, the monster appears, and then he captures both Daigo, or King, and Soji's dad. And so they're just like, oh crap, okay, we gotta fight for it. And Soji kind of steps up, and he starts becoming a part of the team. He, he hops on one of those dinosaur things, the bike, the Dino Chasers. I think those are Dino Chasers, and those things are kind of cool. They look a little weird, but they're pretty cool. So he hops on one, and I mean, I'm kind of happy that they have vehicles again. I don't remember the last time that they. Well, they had. Hiromu had the he had Nick, he had Cheetah Nick, but
yeah, Nick, he can transform into a motorcycle, but before
that I don't even remember the last time that they had individual vehicals.
And then it was just Hiromu who just had Nick, and that's it. So like for the whole team, the entire team to have vehicles, that's kind of that's been a while since we've had.
The last time that happened was I think maybe Deca Ranger.
I think so too. I want to say yeah.
I mean, Deca Break had Machine Boxer, and then they each had their vehicles.
We can technically say Maji Ranger had individual vehicles.
They had the Sky Hokey, but
yeah.
Was after Deca Ranger. Yeah, I mean that is true. They had the Sky Hokey, and that does account for something. So,
but after that, then there's nothing. But after that, yeah, Soji starts to kick everyone's ass.
Yeah, so I really like his style. It's pretty awesome.
I know. It's like having the blade like just on his back, just to have like the blade like on his like. I also what's going to describe that he has his blade like facing like on like the hilt is on the hilt. Well, not the hilt. Like the handle is like facing him. Like it's like facing forward.
Yeah.
And then the blade's like facing like opposite. And he fights like that, and that's very cool. As a matter of fact, I just brought breaking away a little bit. I just bought a G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes, the new one, and I have him like that with the sword like that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty cool it's a cool fighting style. I'm really happy that they have their own individual styles again incorporating, because the way that it was for Go Busters is that they kind of had that one specific style. It's like they were trained early on. The best thing about this is,
even though everybody had like their own like abilities, everyone just was like they really
one specific fighting style. It's just like kind of like combat trained fighting style. With this one, everyone has their own specific style, and it's really, really interesting. I like it quite a bit.
I like it too.
But moving on, we actually get to see more of the actual the Brave Beast. You have Zakutor, which is Kyoryuger's personal Brave Beast. It's just a raptor with 3 blades on the tail, kind of like a weird scissor type thing. So they combine to bring to form Kyoryuger, and yeah, they opt out I can't remember.
Kyoryo. They Dicera.
Yeah, Drysera. Drysera. They opt out. They opt out Drysera for Zoctor, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I was a little kind of thrown off the fact that they had what's it called? They had Kyoru Pink still in there at the time.
Yeah,
Well, they formed Kyoryuger with Zoctor. We have this new attack and everything like that. So what was cool about it is I guess that they're still involved in it, but I'm really hoping that we get another mech out of it, and it does something along the lines of Go-Onger, where you had Go On Black and Go On Green, where they had their own mecha, and it was just with like a different basically, I guess, a different mecha. Hopefully that something like that happens. If not, whatever. I guess like they can keep opting out and switching things, but it's still pretty good.
I foresee.
I guess in the
I foresee it to be a little bit more like how it was with Gal Ranger, where it's like they have individual pieces, and then there's another individual like main piece, and they find this other individual main piece, and that's how they form the other mech.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, well, I'm just talking about as far as like actual Rangers are concerned, part of the core team. Because with Gal Ranger, you still had the original. You had the core 5, then you had Gal Silver show up later. And with that said, I mean, he had his own. He had his own everything. Yeah, and I mean, I kind of hope that they have their own mech, so that it's. Because guaranteed everything's going to be... I don't doubt it with this particular series. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a clusterfuck mecha. That's just kind of how it is with every show, I guess, with every Sentai now. That said,
that pretty much wraps it up then. Yeah, because it's like... After that, it's like, banter, and then it's like... That's it. You go home. Wait for Wizard if you want.
Yeah, and then, Soji's dad was just like, yeah, he's like, combine your style with my style and, pass it on. And Ian's there and he's just like, I'm still going to keep to myself. So I guess the next episode is going to be Ian focused.
Yeah.
Where we're going to see maybe his part, him joining the team. Because I believe with episodes, I think 5 onward... I think 5 to 7, I think it's going to involve Kyoryuger Cyan, which everyone's seen, of course, and everyone loves. From my understanding from what I've read, is that they're going to have a bunch of different Kyoryugers, but they're not going to be a part of the main actual team themselves. They're just going to kind of show up, offer up their brave beast, and kind of take off from there. At least that would be cool. Because then that would bring the actual Ranger count of the series up higher than any other series beforehand.
I always say to every panel whenever we did it, it's like, isn't the most Rangers we ever seen, was it in like Deca Ranger?
Yeah, you had the core 5, then you had Master, you had Break, you have Bright, you have Gold, and then you also have Swan. So I believe that brings it to a total of 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings it to a total of 9. I think the closest at that point would probably be possibly Magi Ranger.
Yeah, because, well, fuck. Let's see. It was the 5 core ones, then you had Magi Shine, then you had Magi Mother, and then you had Wizard of Fire.
Yeah. So that's 8 right there.
Yeah.
And then close to that...
family. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much as far as it goes.
So what were your thoughts of the episode, if you want to like elaborate really?
I liked it, actually. I kind of liked it a bit. I'm a really big fan of Kyoru Green. His fighting style is really, really awesome. I like the suit. Raptors are pretty awesome. Other than that, I mean, it was a good episode for what it was. We're still early on, so they're kind of getting everyone used to the team. So it's I've never really been a big fan of build up episodes, but I'm really kind of happy about this. The fact that they are kind of including everyone. It's just not, oh yeah, we're a team, so we're going to kind of get to, we have to go ahead and get along. The thing with this is that they're doing it differently. Is that they start off kind of together, but then they kind of spread apart, as far as, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
They
they're very individualistic.
Yeah, they started off as part of a core team, but even at that point, they weren't, really, really friendly, buddy with each other. They still kind of kept to themselves, and it wasn't until, I think, episode 2 where, a team was kind of formed, where you have Ami, Nobu, and Daigo. And then now you have Soji, Ami, Daigo, and Nobu. And I guess the next episode it's going to be Ian, but it's kind of, you work towards that whole team thing. I mean, early on, they are kind of getting used to each other. I'm pretty sure they're going to be a few, more build-up episodes where it's like, oh, here's the team, kind of get used to us, which I hate quite a bit. And I'm not looking forward to fillers because, oh, God, I hate fillers.
And the worst part,
but yeah,
the fillers keep going and going and going until and it gets to a point where it's just like everything starts to blend in with each other at one point. That's the part I'm really afraid of right now.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to. Well, I mean, the thing I hate about it is when a serious show has a bunch of fillers and they're kind of lighthearted. I really dislike that quite a bit because you're taking the show's pace and you're kind of throwing it, a complete 180 where it's just turning all the way around. But when it's like a lighthearted show like this, I can kind of see it working out where, they'll have their filler episodes, but it won't kind of impact the story as much as most of the series shows, where it's like, oh, we're completely serious, we gotta fight, there's this completely strong, threatening issue. Oh, hey, there's a filler episode. Okay, wait, we gotta save this cat in a tree, and we gotta work together and learn the value of friendship. Okay, I'm so glad we did that. Alright, let's do that for another 2 or 3 episodes, and then we'll get back to the story. That's kind of what it seems like, at least from my perspective. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, as far as my take on Kyoryuger 3.
Well, I'll be really quick with mine because I only have one complaint. Is that the beginning of the episode felt like it was going way, way too quick for my taste. I was like, literally, it was like, slow down.
Yeah, I think the reason why they're doing that right now is just to, what's it called? Just to kind of pick up the pace and get the team together themselves. Because, like the way that I said right now, you can't really have a series like this, and you can't have it where the team isn't together, within the first few episodes. Yeah. So that's probably what they're doing, and that's why it feels like they're rushing it, because they really are. But
yeah. But
other than that,
yeah, I got nothing. It's just like, I guess the only complaint I got was like they went really too quick. But then again, we already explained why. So. Yeah, we were very vocal during the breakdown of the episode about our opinions about different things. So it's like, I think how you feel about moving on to our next our last thing on the agenda.
Yep, I'm all up for it. Kamen Rider Wizard episode 25.
Alright, and we begin with a recap of episode 24, and then after the recap, we just go back to home base, and everyone's like wondering, like, man, like what happened? And then we get a little bit more about what's going on with Kyosuke's grandmother, and that she has like this drastic change of attitude where instead of being very controlling, she's like she looks like she's very. Like, she's accepting of a lot of things, and this starts freaking out Kyosuke a lot. So, in the meantime, he
realizes that he's been a dick.
Yeah, he realizes he's a huge dick, and it's like, oh man, it was actually kind of painful to watch, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
So they pretty much like they pretty much talk it all out. They talk it all out, wondering like I'm very sorry that I was a dick. And then she's like, "I'm very sorry for being really strict with you, but you had good reason to."
Yeah.
So, what they eventually figure out is that before they captured Shunpei, Kyosuke put one of his beasts inside with Shunpei's bag, and they pick up that signal, and they're like, "Oh, Shunpei is located here." So what ends up happening is they go to where Shunpei is, and what ends up happening is it's actually a trap set up by Gremlin, and Gremlin's like, "Ha! I fooled you again," and even Medusa's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Like, she's even like, "Wait, you used me?" And she gets pissed off, man. I was pretty I was laughing about that. I mean, I'm happy that they're kind of creating turmoil, because basically you have Medusa by herself now. Yeah. And she kind of seems a bit vulnerable. And Gremlin seems like the type that he would kind of take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
we've seen
plus he just seems like
this situation of many situations already.
Yeah. He honestly just seems like a complete freaking dick. Like, honestly, like, I'm pretty sure.
Troll. That's what he is.
Basically Gremlin. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a Gremlin. He's a fucking troll. And it's like, oh, yeah. Damn it. So, yeah, so they fight off. So, like, after that, they figured, they're all like, wow, we got tricked. And so now, basically, was it Gremlin that gave him the ultimatum? Like, find me. Oh yeah, Gremlin says, "Okay, look, no more tricks. Find me here, and we'll make the arrangement for the exchange." So and so after that, that's when they have that heart-to-heart moment with Kyosuke and his grandmother, and after that, it seems like they're about to walk off, It looks like they're like that Kyosuke was about to do the deed and give her up, and then but then after that, what ends up happening is Kabuto's like, "Nope, I'm coming with you." So they're back. So they're right there. They're about to make the drug deal. It actually looks like kind of like a drug deal where they were, as a matter of fact, in the middle of fucking nowhere. Guns, all they needed was the guns and everything. So
yeah.
So there was Shunpei. They had Shunpei, and Granny was there with him as well. Mm-hmm. And what ends up happening is that it looks like they're about to give him up, but then they realized, but then they get ambushed by Haruto, who's using one of Beast's rings. As a matter of fact, that's the same ring he used the last time. I think it was the dolphin ring.
I believe so, yeah. Because he was able to kind of duck in and out.
Yeah, he used the dolphin ring again, and then it looks like the Phantom they were fighting. I forgot. We still haven't figured out what the hell that Phantom is. It looks like he's about to strike down Kyosuke, but just as they strike him down, he just explodes into feathers, and everyone's like, "Wait, how did he do that?" And while everyone's dumbfounded, what ended up happening before all that, I should have said, was Kyosuke handed the wizard driver to not the wizard, handed the beast driver to Gremlin, and then Gremlin I think Haruto blasts the beast driver to him, and he hands it back to Kyosuke, and they're able to transform. Yeah. So then Haruto explains, he used this. I gave him the spell to use his rings in conjunction with me, so now he's able to use the same spells in conjunction with me. Mm-hmm. So they pretty much kicked that Phantom's ass, and yeah, that's pretty much about it.
I think, was that the first time that we've seen Beast's his rider kick?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, yeah, at the end of the fight, basically. Even though he's in Uber, Flame Dragon mode, he's like, "By the way, take him out, would ya?" He's like, "Yeah, food." And he gives him the rider kick, and it's fucking awesome. Literally, he eats the monster as he rider kicks him, because a big lion appears. Like, holy shit, awesome.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. As far as things are concerned with the show,
yeah.
It's good for what it is.
Very good.
I mean, I shouldn't really say that because it was a good episode.
It was a really good arc. This little arc this little arc featuring Kyosuke, because it like I said, I mean, I was talking to Stan about this the other day, and we were talking about the last episode with Magical Girl Beast and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we
Oh
pretty much
man, that was hilarious.
And we pretty much came to the conclusion that's like it's just Kyosuke being Kyosuke. And there's a little bit of, and like, you know, we get used to him being like, you know, kind of like the goofball of the group, but we see a little bit of growth in him. Like, you know, he realizes that, oh shit, you know, she was actually looking out for my best interest. Like, oh shit, I feel kind of bad now. And you really feel for him. It's just like you really feel like he really feels sad about what happened, and like how he's been treated all this time, and like you know, I'm pretty sure things will be back to status quo. He'll still be the goofy sidekick, but
yeah, but it was interesting to see a more serious side of him.
Yeah, it really was, and I really want to see more of that. Like if ever comes a chance.
Which, I mean, I think we will. You can't really ask too much from a character like that. I think it's still too early on for his growth to kind of show up. I mean, because he barely appeared in, what was it, like episode 17, 16?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so we're barely a little over 8 episodes in, and it's just, you know, actually that is 8 episodes, or 8 episodes in, and you can't really expect too much growth from him. He's still going to be the lighthearted, but I think given the circumstance, yeah, you of course are going to see a lot of growth from him in this episode. Plus, it's nice to see, you know, a more lighthearted character take a serious approach, I would say. But beyond that, it's still pretty cool.
I mean, it's also a total inverse of what we were discussing earlier, where it's just like we have all these goofball characters, and it's good for once in a while for them to have a little bit more to them being other than the goofballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, you know, I mean, it's great I mean, like I said, last episode, it was amazing how they handled Kyosuke and all those little shenanigans trying to hide his identity from his grandmother. That was I think the highlight of the episode. But like it also benefits them having a little bit of a serious side as well, because if they're all just comedy, then we wouldn't take them as seriously at one point. So it's
That's correct. Yeah.
If I mean, and this is what I like about sometimes over, it's like you have to, like, sometimes people are down on this, not down on them, on their characters being goofy, but I'm like, no, it really does pay off, because like if they're goofy, they don't seem they lose a bit of their humanity. I mean, you know me, I'm like, you know, the most lighthearted, you know, haha kind of guy in the world. You know, I'll joke around with you no matter what. But, you know, I have my times where I have to be serious. I had to put the brakes. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, like, I can't make a joke of this. I'm not gonna make light of this. My mouth is zipped. I'm not gonna discuss anything of this. So I know when to be serious when I have to. But, and you know, and I'm pretty sure I know I would infuriate people if I was fucking like you know, a fucking goofball all the time. Also.
Yeah.
So. It gives them not only it gives a character not just growth, but also shows that, you know, the writers also know not writers as in like common writers, but the writers as in the people writing the actual series understand that maybe if they made a guy have a little bit of a serious edge, then, you know, it seems he's a little bit more credible.
Yeah. That's basically it. It's just because you can't have a super lighthearted character stay that way and then immediately towards the end just get completely serious. It's a weird kind of character change for him. You need to have kind of more of a history added. You can't really have just extremely lighthearted the entire time, no sort of emotion other than the fact that, hey guys, I'm, you know, uber happy and I'm you know, hopeful that everything is going to be fine, and then, you know, towards the end of the series just completely 180 and have him be, you know, complete opposite serious, you know, douchebag kind of guy.
And like I said, the only reason why it's more like the other way around, like we can have a serious series and have them be lighthearted, is that, you know, it kind of breaks the character's flow.
Yeah.
unless the situation is needed, and they can introduce it in a very organic way. And on top of that, you cannot make it very. You cannot like take something that's very serious and then suddenly make it very goofy.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's just a weird thing to do.
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it works one way, but in another way, it's not. It's not gonna work 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So, you have any other thoughts?
No. I'm kind of looking forward to how the series is going to turn after this point. I mean, I'm honestly, more than Beast and Wizard are concerned, I'm really anxious to see where Medusa and Gremlin end up in this situation. Because, I mean, I don't think they're going to be working together. You have Gremlin doing his own thing, and I'm pretty sure he, answers to his own set of rules. And then you have Medusa, where she's kind of like, I'm the one who's in order. I'm the one who's, should be in charge in this situation. I mean, that's kind of how she was with Phoenix, where she was just like, okay, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And, Phoenix was just like, I just want to fight. I just want to, just beat the shit out of stuff. And Gremlin kind of just seems like the type where, like I said, he follows his own set of rules, and he's not used to people ordering him around. So I'm kind of curious to see how they play out towards each other.
Not just that, I'm wondering like now that we're in the second half of the series, officially starting with next episode, we're pretty much at the halfway mark. I'm wondering like where the series is going to next after that, because it's like with Gremlin just like fucking everyone's shit, it's gonna be interesting to see where things go from there, especially because like who else, what other Phantoms are doing this as well. And not only that, like, what other Phantoms does Gremlin know? What other Phantoms does Medusa know? Like, what's gonna end up happening? Are they gonna like have like a fight between each other, or what's gonna happen? Who knows?
I kind of think that's gonna happen. I mean, I'm just hoping something like that happens because it'd be interesting to see. But that's just like where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I have this funny feeling that's like I hate to put money on this right now, but it's like. I got this funny feeling that some way somehow Gremlin's gonna be involved with the final battle, like the big final thing of Wizard. It's gonna somehow involve Gremlin. I'm pretty sure he's gonna troll everybody to fight each other at one point, and then that's how he's gonna that's how it's gonna be, which will be amazing. Cause it's like holy shit, this guy's uber troll.
Yeah, basically. So with that said, I mean, that's kind of a closing thought on Kamen Rider Wizard episode 25. Also, with that said, I mean, kind of keeping in the tokusatsu type of thing, what did you think of the, I mean, I don't really want to invade in Plastic Cast too much, but I mean, it still is revolving around Toku. The SH Figure Arts, Kyoryuger Sentai Kyoryuger, Tyranno Ranger and Dragon Ranger, or Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Red Ranger, and Green Ranger. What are your thoughts on them?
Well, I said before, and like I'm gonna try to be a little bit reserved for this, because I kind of want to discuss this on Plastic Cast proper. But I like how they turned out. Like the last time I saw these, they weren't very complete. Now that they are like 100% right there in front of me with everything they're gonna have. I'm very pleased with what they're gonna come. That I'm very pleased with how it came out, and like I really want them now. Like they are like my number one priority. Like literally number one is Sailor Moon. No matter what, I will really. Oh my god, you won't believe how much I spazzed at when I saw SH Figure Sailor Moon. That is like number one for me. And then number two,
that's pretty much.
What's up?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that number two, number three is Tyranno Ranger and Dragon Ranger.
Yeah, it's honestly it's really cool. The reason being is that, I mean, if you look at the kind of evolution of like the evolution of the SH Figure Arts, the Ranger Figure Arts from more fun, the Shinkenger Figure Arts, in as much as I love mine, they were still a little weird as far as the design aspect goes. They had really elongated. They honestly were like Katoki designs.
Yeah.
For those of you that are. Yeah, for those that are, are follow Robo and stuff like that, like Mecha, they seriously like a version Kai, edit. They had really long lower bodies and a kind of shorter upper body and torso, and plus smaller heads. But they seem like they balanced it out as far as these figures are concerned, just because of the fact that they don't seem to really. What's the word I'm looking for?
They didn't serialize them.
They don't seem too bulky.
They didn't serialize them too much. They actually stayed within the parameters of their design.
Yeah. Plus, I'm really kind of happy that they have different versions of the Ranger stick. They have like all 3 versions of it. They have the holstered version. They have the actual blade. They have the gun, and then they also have with the I don't remember the name of for it in G Ranger. It's the Thunder Slinger basically from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's a slingshot attachment.
Yeah, and then that's funny that Dragon Ranger really only has the Jusoken and then the Hellfried sword.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it up with them with some additional accessories. I'm pretty sure he's gonna come with some upper arms for Tyranno Ranger. That's gonna have the.
I don't think so. I think because knowing the way Bandai works, is they're probably gonna have a completely separate release for this one, where it's just gonna be.
I swear to God, it's like they're throwing money out the window if they're doing that. Anyways, but then again, I'm talking about Bandai. But this is a whole different conversation at this point now. But I really like it. I really, really, really like it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it, on them, even.
Yep, and that's pretty much it. Any other closing thoughts?
No, that's pretty much about it. Like I got really nothing. Like it was pretty much by the books week in tokusatsu for the most part. It's like nothing really out of the ordinary. So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty good right now.
Same here.
All right, so you can find us at www.plasticjoint.com. Again, the address is www.plasticjoint.com. And as for me, I am Ramses Rivera. To the left of me is the always handsome and awesome Eric, saying goodbye.
See you guys.